Hey, this is the handicapped hero, Gregory Iron, and you're listening to the podcast where everybody knows your name. I'm not a good singer, but I tried. Wrestling Cheers.
Taking your way in the world today takes everything you got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name. And they're always glad you came. You want to go where you can see that troubles are all the same. You want to go where everybody knows your name. You want to go where you can see that troubles are all the same. You want to go where everybody knows your name.
And welcome back to Wrestling Cheers, where everybody knows your name, even if you sit in the gauge section. That's right, this is Wrestling Cheers, brought to you by the brand new TrendingTopicsNetwork.com and NEO Sports Insiders. Please do us a favor here at Wrestling Cheers. Rate, review, subscribe, and share with your friends this podcast. We are available on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, Spotify, and Podbean. WrestlingCheers.podbean.com. You want to get a hold of us, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Facebook.com/WrestlingCheers, Twitter.com/WrestlingCheers, and Instagram.com/WrestlingCheers. Email, if you so choose to desire, WrestlingCheers@gmail.com. And of course, you can help support the show by going to whatamaneuver.net and picking yourself up a shirt. New designs will be available very, very soon. And this is a show where we like to talk about things going on in the Northeast Ohio independent wrestling scene. We preview shows, we review shows, and sometimes we even have interviews. This is a review episode, as we will review last weekend's AIW Gauntlet for the Gold 13. And before we go any further, I do want to mention a little programming note of what's coming on in the future, and you have plenty of time for this, but just please don't wait around. It was brought to, an idea was given to me before we recorded the last episode. Dustin Alberti was on, and we were just kind of like having like a normal warm-up, just having a conversation. And he came up with the idea that he'd been thinking about doing a special memorial episode or a special episode or even two dedicated to Chandler Biggins. And we're going to have it release right around the 1 year mark. And my plan is that the next two AIW shows, and I count the JLIT weekend as one show, so I mean, granted that's 3 shows, but it's one big event. But anyway, you get the picture. Over the Gangsta Party and JLIT weekend, I'm going to be getting snippets and sound bites from wrestlers on their thoughts, on their stories, and anything they have to say about Chandler Biggins. And I want to invite every listener to this podcast to do the same thing. Now, if you get a hold of me at the show and say, hey, I want to record something really quick, I'd be glad to do so. But maybe you're shy, maybe you don't have time, maybe you don't want to be put on the spot in front of a microphone, but you still want to participate. I mean, this is the only way I would do it. I wouldn't do a thing where you send something to me and I read it, because I'm horrible at reading. So we live in a very technological age where every phone has some sort of sound recorder. You have a microphone, you're able to record it, and you're able to send whatever you record to other people. Well, you heard earlier in the show, we have our email, wrestlingcheers@gmail.com. And if you would like to be a part of this episode or these episodes, and you're not going to be around us, or you're not going to have time, or whatever it is, feel free to send your MP3s or whatever format your phone is going to send it in, because I actually have a file converter. If you send it to me in M4A, which is the regular iPhone, Apple format for those type of voice memo files, I can convert it, and there's no issue, and it's going to sound perfect. It sounds going to sound fine. So if you want to be part of that episode, please send your audio files to wrestlingcheers@gmail.com. Put in the subject line, Chandler Biggins Memorial Episode. Technically, I mean, you wouldn't have to do that. Trust me when I say there's not a lot of emails that come through wrestlingcheers@gmail.com. So I will get those in no matter what you put in the title. But welcome everybody, and you have plenty of time. You don't have to do it right now. You don't even have to do it next week. He passed I believe at the end of June. So I think it's like June 20th or so. So it's going to be right around that time. My deadline that I'm asking people is JLIT. JLIT weekend, let's say Memorial Day, just to be sure, because it's right after. Have it to me by Memorial Day. You'll be fine. If everything's after, hit us up on Twitter and we'll let you know if you still have time or anything, if everything's been produced. But just want to throw that out to everybody. Everybody's invited to be a part of that particular episode. Now, with all of that said and done, let's move on to the lovely AIW show that we seen last weekend. And I am not the only one here. Nope. Another two co-host week. It's myself. I didn't even say my name earlier. I am Heavy Set, which you can read in the podcast notes that are description that comes with the podcast. But we also have Kayden Ranke.
Hello.
Now that you're here.
The power's not out.
Yeah. For those who don't know, or I guess you would know because no one knows. We tried recording on our normal day, and literally I walked out of the room because I was like, hey, I got to do something really quick. I'll be right back. I was probably gone like 2 minutes.
Yeah, maybe 2 minutes.
I come back. The Skype call had ended. Kayden was gone. And he sends me a message. So, power just went out. Like, literally right as
the weather was not bad.
Yeah. Right as we were about to start. All of a sudden, oh yeah, no power. I'm like, great. Just great.
There was no rain, no wind, no nothing. It was fine outside.
So, we're here now. We're recording this episode. And it's actually recording. Right now, it's about 2 hours before the show's supposed to go live. So, fingers crossed. But let's get into the fun aspect of this show. Probably gonna be a shorter episode just because I want to go to bed. We had not JLIT. Why did I say JLIT? Gauntlet for the Gold. Have I been saying JLIT the whole time? Hope I didn't. Too many ever. Anyway.
It's another AIW show, the one that has the Battle Royal on it.
AIW Gauntlet for the Gold 13. First and foremost, we had special guest Double J Jeff Jarrett. I forget, did you get a picture, an autograph?
Per usual, because I'm a mark and like to spend money.
Screw people who spend $500 on belts, but no matter what, you're going to meet every single wrestler that's there.
Yes, I like meeting people. I will not spend $500 on a belt.
I still want one. I really do.
Good for you.
This was a conversation that happened on Twitter, and it was actually a response from an older episode. And my whole thing is, I want one for my eventual wedding, for my reception. I want to come into the reception hall with some sort of wrestling music. I don't know exactly what right now. I am leaning more towards Bullet Club, but times change. Different themes come out, and I'll change my mind. But I want to come out to a wrestling theme and have that belt on. And then I want to have my wife to have a women's championship. And on a side note, I know I can get Howard Finkel to announce us in, but I don't want to know the price tag on that.
A lot.
I can bet.
A lot.
Would it be worth it? Oh, fuck yeah. Especially if he starts with, and do. That'd just be so awesome.
Thing is, can you afford it?
Could I take out a loan for it?
You have a point.
Anyway, yeah, I also did the Jeff Jarrett thing. I was more towards, literally like the last person before the show started. Fun thing that interaction that I had with him at this point was, because I'll be honest, I was never a Jeff Jarrett fan growing up. He was always that just heel that I believe I was supposed to hate. No matter what he did for many years, I hated him. And it wasn't even until I was probably an adult where I actually somewhat started to like him. And normally it was actually because the TNA theme I thought was awesome for him. But he was just always basically this piece of shit. And it was him and Owen that I always said were two of the best heels because I hated them. And that's what I was supposed to be. The only time I really rooted for Jeff Jarrett was after Owen's death. And he was going for the Intercontinental Championship. And it was kind of that symbolic thing because, ironically, it was Blue Blazer who was supposed to go up against the Godfather, who will be at the next AIW show. And it was like, I don't know how long later. I thought it was the next night, but it might have been they changed at the next pay-per-view, and it was Jeff Jarrett versus the Godfather. And it was kind of like, I really like the Godfather, but kind of want Jeff Jarrett to win for Owen. And he did. And whatever he did after that, there was something that made me hate him again. And we went back down the normal road. So when I got to talk to him, I was like, I just want to thank you for being that bad guy that I could hate my whole life. Like when I was a kid, like I hated you and Owen so much. And he thanked me, but then he also gave me this like, get the hell out of here, kid. Like just kind of like amping up what I knew growing up. And that's what I really, really appreciated.
It made it just kind of like cool.
Yeah. And then there was also the moment later on in the night when Jeff Jarrett ends up interrupting Dr. Dan.
Rest in peace.
Which you can get a little bit of the clip on our Twitter. It's not a direct tweet. It's actually a reply to somebody. So if you go through our media, you can find this like the last minute or so of the video and, Jarrett ends up hitting Dr. Dan with a guitar. Surprisingly, not the Duke. The Duke doesn't get attacked this time.
Dang it.
It's Dr. Dan. But a total missed opportunity, too, that Dr. Dan did not point out to Jeff Jarrett that With My Baby Tonight is not a Jeff Jarrett song. It is a Road Dogg song, and we all should know that now. Especially because we all know what the Road Dogg sounds like.
I don't.
Shut up. Back in 1995, when we all heard the song, or before Kayden was alive, no one knew what the Road Dogg sounded like because he was just the roadie. He was a guy who never really talked. So it was somewhat believable. Okay, that's Jeff Jarrett singing. But now that we've heard the Road Dogg talk for years, you listen to the song and you go, yeah, that's clearly Road Dogg. But Dr. Dan did not mention that. And
You never heard the song.
Really? He's never heard With My Baby Tonight?
Never know.
I'm pretty sure.
He's taking care of his kid.
All of them.
Oh, yeah, I don't know how many. We're just going to stick with one. I don't want to be that mean.
Anyway, but after that whole thing happened, With My Baby Tonight started playing, and he went around, just started putting the microphone in people's face and have them sing a bit. And the first person he went to, couldn't get to the barricade quick enough, or just kind of chickened out. And then he, I'm already singing it, and he just comes over to me, puts the microphone on my face, and I'm like, okay, let's do it. Fine.
All right, cool. Let's continue doing this.
Yeah. Actually, just posted that on Facebook and Instagram. Photo credit to Wayne Palmer, even though I didn't technically credit him. But so that was kind of a fun moment that I got to do that. Anyway, let's get on to the show. Something that I want to mention before we get into that actual match. It's going to be the second match on the card. In between recording the preview and producing the preview, AIW released a promo, and it featured that we are now going to have, in so many words, basically, Jock Sampson and Mance Warner together as a team, something that I really wanted to see, and I even tweeted about it before that became an actual thing. So now they're officially together. It's more Jock's really doing it for the money, and they are known as Duke Money. What do you think about that, Kayden?
You know my thoughts on the Duke.
Duke Money, baby. Duke Money, baby.
I like Mance and I like Jock, though. So I guess this team's pretty good.
And we'll get to that match. I want to start off with the actual match we started off with, MJF versus Dick Justice, and MJF did defeat the one and only Dick Justice. Pulling up.
I don't know how he clean win.
He won via a low blow. That MJF did see the tweet and he said was fake news.
Yeah, clean win. Sorry. I don't know what I was watching.
I don't care what people say. I love me some MJF, and he's kind of a comedy wrestler when he wants to be.
He's good at it, but he's a good wrestler too.
Yeah. But I look at him and I first seen the gimmick. I didn't think this guy's going to be a comedy wrestler. But let's face it, his past two matches in AIW have been against Colt Cabana and Dick Justice.
And they were great.
Something tells me we're going to see MJF versus Space Monkey soon.
And it'll also be great.
Because I do think that Space Monkey will be booked at the next show. I don't know for sure. There are signs that point to it, as in he's going to be in Remix the next day. And also, I know a particular Canadian that's going to be back at AIW in April. So Space Monkey could fit in there. I'd love... It's been a while since we've seen Space Monkey because he got injured. I miss me some Space Monkey.
He'll be back, probably, at that show.
Anyway, but MJF, Dick Justice, low blow, fuck what people say. I love me some MJF. I thoroughly wasn't entertained. How about you, Kayden?
Very fun match. I like the more fun side of MJF over the serious side. Good at both, but I will take the side we're seeing in AIW.
Next up, we had a last-minute four-way tag match that was also something in between when the show was recorded and produced last week that was not mentioned, and it was the newly formed team of Duke Money versus the Philly Marino Experience versus the Young Studs versus two members of the production, Donovan Danhausen, or just Danhausen, and Eddie Only. And it was the production that won after consecutive
Spike and the ring hook deal.
Yeah, because it's Danhausen who has the spike, and it is Eddie Only who has the ring. What was that called? Hook? Ring hook? You called it a ring hook, but
it's hard to describe the finish.
It seems to be also, because I was looking at stuff on Twitter, that Jock, I think, or maybe it was Mance, was bitching about these theater geeks. I'm really interested to seeing a Duke Money and production feud.
Maybe a match at the rap show with weapons.
You're really excited about this.
Yes, I like weapons.
Did you buy any tonight?
No, but there's a lot of things in planning that probably aren't going to get used, and this might be a good thing.
Oh, good Lord.
I will say this again. This has to do with the Absolute title, but Eric Ryan versus Nick Gage. Do it.
Oh my God.
Let's just have actual death.
Let's have actual death.
Eric Ryan's trying.
All right, so was the, like I said, the production one on that one. I like where we're going with all these teams. The tag division is very strong in AIW. You have the many forms of the production on not in any of these matchups. You also have different forms of no consequences. Duke Money is great. I love Jock and Mance together. PME is PME. They're always going to be fun, entertaining, and Young said the same way.
Being honest, when I saw Danhausen and Eddie were teaming together, I was not sure about that one. They did very well as a team. I wouldn't mind seeing them be a tag team every month and have the other members be like the 6-man part of the stable.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It could. Well, I don't know. I feel like you gotta, for some of those bigger matches, it's cool to mix in who's going to be. But there's definitely a lot of tag team combinations within the production.
There really is, which it's not a bad thing. It's great.
One thing I do want to throw out, normally with these shows, I heavily promote that, we do Instagram stories. Yeah, there really wasn't many for this show, and it was my fault. I didn't take any, stories from the first match. And then I got to this match, obviously, the production, Duke Money, PME, and Young says, there's just so much there that's going to be great. And there was. The only problem is I put it on my personal Instagram, and I realized that during the next match. So I was like, oh, shit, well, I'll delete these and I'll repost them. I forgot that I have the settings on the Wrestling Cheers Instagram that when I post something to the stories, it automatically saves. I do not have the same settings for my personal one. So after I deleted them all, I went back to repost them, and they were obviously nothing there. So we were 2 matches into the show. I kind of said, fuck it. I think I might have did a couple, but for the most part, I said fuck it. And then, especially with the Gauntlet, kind of behind the scenes thing, Kayden was having trouble with his phone. There was actually one match. What match was that? Was it Tracy Williams and DJZ?
Yes.
Kayden couldn't get his phone to unlock or whatever, and he's like, dude, I don't know what to do. Well, I'm horrible at moves and all that shit. So I literally just handed him my phone and go, here.
Yeah, my phone would not turn on. My phone is kind of garbage.
And we're hoping that's going to be fixed this weekend, but circumstances are out of your control.
Sooner than later.
Yeah, which, you've had that phone a very long time.
Since Turner's Hall era of AIW.
Yeah.
So 4 years.
That's about a good lifespan. I actually have my original iPhone right next to me right now. It's the iPhone 4, and I had that for when it was active. I had it for 4 years, and then some change. So yeah, 4 years is about a good run. So you'll like it to have some sort of an upgrade. You'll thoroughly enjoy that, especially your pictures are probably going to have a massive upgrade.
Finally.
Because I think if you look at the Wrestling Cheers pictures, on Twitter, you could tell the ones that I took and the ones that you took.
Oh yeah, you can tell. There's a big difference.
If I threw on my old phone and took pictures from it, I get the same thing. And actually, when I upgraded from that phone to, I think at that time I upgraded to the iPhone 6 Plus, one of the first snaps that I did, someone responded like, "Oh my god, it's so much better." And I'm like, "Oh, thanks," because I had the other phone for 4 years. So yeah, it makes total sense that you finally, or it's about time that you upgraded. The only thing, though, and obviously out of your control, I like having a lot of memory, especially when you're going to take a lot of pictures and videos.
Yeah, new phone is going to have 32 gigabytes of storage.
I think I have 256.
Oof.
Because I don't like running out of memory. I did that with my 4. That was a 64, and eventually it got way too full.
I just post the videos after post, then delete them off my phone anyway.
Well, the videos are a big thing. I've started backing them up. Now that's a lot easier to do. I can do it through Dropbox and all that kind of stuff. Back when I first had my phone, it was like I had to plug it into a computer and all that. Anyway, but going back to where we were, that's why there wasn't any videos. But with Gauntlet, it would have been damn near impossible. Like that match itself, because with Kayden having his issues, and I'm tweeting out every minute and a half, every entrant. And like, there's a couple times that I did eliminations, but it was hard to keep up between the regular tweets and the eliminations. So,
and Eddie only falling over like 17 times.
Yeah, there's also stuff that happened like right in front of us. Side note: I hope Dom is okay. Hit a little spill at the outside in the middle of the gauntlet. All because we'll get into that because there was a lot. It was definitely a fun gauntlet. So that was that match. Next up, we had Louis Lyndon versus Eddie Kingston, and we had Gear Eddie for this match.
He showed up.
Gear Eddie was in the house, and Louis Lyndon won via Dragon Sleeper. This was a crazy fucking match. This was one.
Say this before anything. What a finish to this match.
Is this the match that I'm thinking about where there was a Reese standing ovation and yep, I got a couple selfies of myself where like Reese is right behind me, just like clapping like crazy.
Such a good match. I think this is their first time wrestling each other too, which is crazy.
I feel like with a lot of Lyndon and Kingston matches, there's never a lot of hype going into them, but they deliver. And how that match was, it's just...
They wrestled each other before, because I'm forgetting this.
It's very possible. I just feel a lot of their matches, there's no hype.
No, there isn't. Then when the match happens, like, wow, this is really, really, really good.
Oh yeah. So next up, okay, we got to talk about this match. We have to talk about the whole mystery opponents. We have to talk about No Consequences, which was Chase Oliver, Joshua Bishop, and Trey Lamar versus Josh Prohibition and two mystery.
Nope, I'm not saying anything. You know my opinion.
Well, hold on. There's the fact of we go into this match. Granted, a lot of us, me particularly, I think I said it a lot. I was expecting M-Dog. It made sense. It wasn't M-Dog. Now, am I disappointed that it wasn't M-Dog? Like, that had to be M-Dog? No. It definitely could have been other people. Maybe, like, a lot of fans were thinking big. We're thinking, okay, Josh has veterans on his side. It's gotta be people, that just have a legendary status.
No, I was thinking, like, as you said, Cross and maybe, like, Greg.
Well, I'm thinking, like, legendary status in either in independent wrestling or even just Cleveland.
Yeah.
People that were like, oh my God, like, this is amazing. Turns out to be to infinity and beyond. Now, I could look at it like this is like, if you want people to boo, that's how you do it, because people don't like this tag team and people wouldn't like that decision. So,
oh no, the people did not like this decision whatsoever.
Yeah, there were a few responses on Twitter. They were like, that's it? Damn.
I'm talking about the crowd too. In the venue turned on it quite fast.
And before I forget, this was a tweet that we posted about it, that before the match, like there was a stalling too, like Josh came out first, which was like, oh, that's weird. Okay. So is his tag team partner's going to come out? No, here comes No Consequence. Okay. That's weird. So it's going to be this big reveal that we're going to have these mystery partners.
We're going to have Nate Webb. Nope.
We're going to have Kevin Steen and El Generico.
Matt Jed.
So, Josh is cutting a promo on No Consequences, and he actually calls them team participation trophies.
Yay.
Tries to get that going. I had to make sure when I tweeted this out, I'm like, okay, he hasn't revealed partners yet. Don't worry. Like, don't ask me. And it was very shortly after this, it was revealed, because that's when Cheech and Colin attacked No Consequences and thus starting the match. But
wasn't a bad match.
It wasn't. Chase Oliver
didn't die.
Sometimes I keep wanting to say Oliveri. I don't know where that comes from, but I always want to go Oliveri. Chase Oliver did win via a roll up, so No Consequences remains undefeated in Mount Carmel. I think that's the stat Josh said, that that's where they're undefeated. So, or that's at least where he's undefeated.
Didn't they lose the tag match though before the Akron show?
Oh, or maybe he's the one undefeated. No. Yeah, you got a point. We've got a dilemma. The production defeated No Consequences. Or maybe they're undefeated at Men Are on the Lake. I don't know. Go back.
Get your facts together.
Go back 2 episodes ago and listen to what Josh said at the closing minutes of the episode. Or of closing minutes minutes of the interview of the post-show shit. Anyway, let's move on to the next match, and it was a fatal 4-way. Unannounced fatal 4-way, which has been a trend.
I like it.
Also in this trend, which I think this is why they're doing it, maybe partially. Unannounced was participant by the name of Tim Donst. Last fatal 4-way that wasn't announced featured Tim Donst. But we got Gringo Loco versus a returning Shane Mercer, which was awesome.
Yes, he's very, very good. Everyone should book him.
Versus Nasty Russ. Always great seeing Nasty Russ. Also, if he listens or whatnot, huge congratulations out to Team Money, because I do believe recently he did get engaged.
You are correct.
And yeah, Tim Donst also in the match. And it was Tim Donst who got the win via roll-up. 2 in a row. It's really bad.
Like roll-ups.
Fruth roll-ups.
Backhand.
Corey Winters.
One day, they're both going to come back.
One day, Corey Winters is going to come back, and me and him are going to create the best tag team in the world. Summers and Winters.
Okay, someone find Corey Winters. Soon.
I want them to make just a random appearance. Like, I was told, I think neither of them wrestle anymore. But if, like, a Fruth and Winters into the Chandler Biggins tournament.
I was about to say that.
Fruth and Winters, random participants in the Gauntlet one year. Like, I would pop so hard just for those two. It'd be so great. All right, moving on. Next match we had Tracy Williams defeats DJZ. It's another one of those matches that was just brutal. This match, the absolute title match, and Lyndon Kingston, just fucking brutal. What were your thoughts on it?
Fun. This was the one that got announced. I'm like, okay, this might be the match of the night. It is second for match of the night, only behind the absolute title match for reasons.
And it was Hot Sauce Tracy Williams who won via leg bar. Now, I'm kind of going to tap back at him a little bit later. But let's move into the AIW Absolute title match. Matt Justice versus Nick fucking Gage. Nick Gage retained via powerbomb onto a table that did not fucking break.
No, this table did not break.
2 powerbombs into the table.
Before this, there was a super, Death Valley driver onto the table, and it just kind of bent.
This is a match that went everywhere around.
Except outside.
We haven't had a match go outside in a while. When I think matches go outside, I think of
Straight Outta Compton.
Yes, because I remember being front row for that show, and people were going to go follow the action. I'm like, no, I'll stay here. They'll come back. It'll end in here. So I'm keeping my spot for now.
Yeah, I'd rather not go outside in this area.
Well, Straight Outta Compton for a reason. Anyway,
oh boy.
This was another match that really showed you not only how tough Gage was, fucking Matt Justice
getting 17 concussions.
Oh my god. He showed and proved why he should be in AIW. It's been a year since he's been back, and what a way to end it with being in the absolute title match. Did he win? No. But
on his birthday.
On his birthday. Like I said, did he win? No. But fuck, was it a good match. And it's cool to see some of these matches and opponents for Gage to where when it's over, it's not like, fuck this motherfucker like he was with Donst. Like first, if I'm correct, he did give props to Tracy, and then he did the same thing with Matt Justice here.
Yeah, the last couple people he's defending the title against, it's been, yeah, you're good. Next time you have a title shot, talk to me. I'm not doing a Nick Gage impression because it's bad.
And for this match, I threw out this idea, I think, after the episode. And luckily we did have AIW fan, if I get her name right, Stefania, or just Stefania, or...
It's Steph.
Steph, or whatever. Well, spelled differently. But I had this idea of Gage section signs. It's all the rage in wrestling since Cesaro. I was like, what about if we did the Gage section, because our group of fans in the front row were all huge Nick Gage fans. He came barreling at us at the last show that he was at. We all about died briefly, and I was like, what? Oh, and also he gave us the thumbs up at that show too.
Best.
That is a GIF on Twitter. So it was like, okay, well, let's do this Gage section thing. I think he'd get a kick out of it. And I don't have a printer. If I had one, I would have made them. And instead, I asked our group of friends that we have on Facebook, say, hey, can someone do this? And she actually said, like, oh, I think I can do it. And give her credit. She actually did. She actually did one up me because I would have just did a regular gauge section font. She actually did like a bloody looking font. It's a little pixelated, which she was concerned about. But I looked at it and I was, no, like, I understand. But when you start to move away from it, it doesn't look pixelated. And like it wasn't horribly pixelated. It was just up close. Yeah, you see it. But it was pretty cool. So that we have the Nick Gage section signs. Thoroughly enjoyed that.
Nick Gage liked them.
God, he loves us.
He does. He gives hugs to me, Michael, and Russell. But his hugs are quite violent.
Oh, yeah.
They involve punching.
I was like almost one of the times I think it was Joshua Bishop, like, came out slapping hands. Yeah, he like freaking like a backhand like John McEnroe. I'm like, holy fuck, man.
You notice how he doesn't do that anymore?
No, he doesn't. But Nick Gage,
now he gives the lightest high fives.
Nick Gage, very, very dangerous. Okay, let's get on to the Gauntlet for the Gold itself. Now, I'm going to go over our tweets because we did have all the entry order. So we started off, entrant number 1, none other than the Duke.
Also, before this, I had entrant number 2 and Gauntlet for the Cash, so...
Entrant number 2, 99 problems, but a bitch ain't one, John Thorne.
I lost my mind.
I would say he was quickly eliminated, but it did take someone else coming out because entrant number 3 was Jock Sampson. So basically a nice little 2-on-1 there. The Duke and Jock versus John Thorne. John Thorne was eliminated.
Thorne did clothesline Duke in the face, though, before I got eliminated.
Now, after a while here, there was actually no eliminations up until a certain point. For the next 5 entrants, no eliminations. So came out Dick Justice, Philly Collins, Mance Warner, Marino Tenaglia, and I like noticing that I have a typo. Anyway, entrant number 8, Tim Donst, who cleared house, or as I put, Tim Donst has elongated everyone.
Elongated.
Because I was trying to type really quick, and I meant eliminated.
Elongated.
After this, it was really hard to keep up with eliminations, so I kind of dropped it. So, I mean, you had Tim Donst, who elongated everybody. So it was just him in the ring, and then, entrant number 9, Call the Corner, PB Smooth.
Best custom theme in wrestling.
Over Sean Schultz. Over Ethan Page.
All the custom theme songs in one match. Custom theme scramble match. Someone book it Mania weekend.
Over Colt Cabana.
Colt's not even allowed to be mentioned in that because his is just legendary status.
He has 2 custom themes.
Wait, does he?
He had the heel one that he used for a while. That was like slower and him singing it. Like it starts off and then it goes, oh, hello there. Straight from... I'm not even going to sing. But
I don't remember that one.
He used it in AIW a couple times, and then whenever he was heel in Ring of Honor, like that's where he used it the most. Before he just started doing regular commentary all the time. When he was going up against Dalton Castle, just look up Colt Cabana heel theme on YouTube. You'll find it.
I don't want to. It's difficult.
And then entrant number 10 was Dr. Daniel C. Rockingham, who was quickly eliminated. So I made sure.
Was immediately elongated.
Yes, elongated. So I did make sure to put up that elimination. Entrant number 11 was Dominic Guarini. Entrant number 12, Derek Director, reading the Twitter handle, Derek Director. Entrant number 13, this needs to be his nickname, Mr. Gauntlet for the Gold, Marion Fontaine, who, side note, will be on next week's episode. I did an interview with him at OCW the next day. Got about a good 20 minutes or so and talked about some stuff. It's kind of rushed, didn't get exactly into certain things that I maybe wanted to, but nonetheless, fun little talk with one of my favorite, if not my absolute favorite independent wrestler. Entrant number 14 was Frankie Flynn. Number 15, a bald rich homie juice himself, AJ Gray.
Why?
I don't know. Anyway, number 16 was Big Twan Tucker. # stay woke. Entrant number 17, Super Oprah. Which we had people ask, who? Sadly, Super Oprah, or any of the other personalities from this particular human being, there's no Twitters. So I can't say like, hey, this is Super Oprah. And it sucks because people did ask like, who's Super Oprah? And actually, because I do have, cagematch.net on here, and Super Oprah actually has a hyperlink known as a handful of different other names, but their career dates all the way back to like 2004. Last AIW appearance was 2013.
Gauntlet.
Yes. Kevin Watson remembers that gauntlet oh so well. entrant number 27. Oddly, just 10 off.
I think 2013 was my first Gauntlet, actually.
Which was won by Colin Delaney. Hey, that's the year that I won me some money.
I have still yet to win Gauntlet for the Cash. Getting bitter about this.
At least Michael didn't win.
He won 2 years in a row. Listen here.
Yeah.
That's not cool. No more buying numbers.
Entrant number 18 was Eddie Kingston. 19, Magnum CK. 20, Trey Lamar. 21, Joshua Bishop. 22, Weird Body. Number 23, the winner, spoiler alert, Hot Sauce, Tracy Williams. Entrant number 24, the winner to our hearts, none other than Kaplan. And we got a moment that I did take pictures of, and they are on Wrestling Cheers Twitter, because obviously we had Kaplan all dressed up in his safety gear. He had on a hard hat, he had on a vest, he had on a bright yellow shirt. Well, he was attacked by Tim Donst.
Safety first, Tim Donst made his way to AIW.
So Donst took off the vest, grabbed the hard hat, and put it on. So we had safety first, Tim Donst. So I am begging AIW, please put Kaplan and Donst together for the Chandler Biggins tournament, for the tag team tournament. Please, I want this. If you give me Kaplan and safety first Tim Donst, it has to be safety first Tim Donst. I promise I will not boo, heckle, say that he sucks. I will not do that for Tim Donst. I will applaud.
You're lying.
And clap. No, I am not, because I want to see this tag team. I love the idea of safety first Tim Donst in Nova Pro. Love that whole idea. And actually, the Twitter kind of blew up a little bit on this whole thing and how Nova Pro has leaked out. How that little thing was in Gauntlet, was in AIW, was in Cleveland, Ohio.
Nova Pro is real good.
At VA Jet Mike, the guy behind Nova Pro, he quote tweeted that particular tweet. He said, "My God, it's transcended," and I just want to see it so bad. I haven't wanted to see a Tim Donst match that hasn't included Nick Gage since he actually replaced Nick Gage against Hardcore Holly. Other than that, no. So
I still want Holly versus Gage to happen.
I want it so bad. Anyway, please give me that AW. Anyway, let's move on. Entrant number 25 was Parker Pierce. A little moment. I got some pictures of it, but I didn't get a chance to tweet them out, of Kaplan and Parker Pierce drinking. Oh my God, imagine this match. Donst and Kaplan versus Big Twan and Parker Pierce.
Huh.
That would be fun.
That'd be interesting.
That would be fun. Come on, please give it to me. Anyway, entrant number 26, Lewis Linden. Entrant number 27, Worldwide. Entrant number 28, DJZ. Entrant number 29, all of a sudden we hear, is that Curse Icon? Is that down? What is this?
I went back to being 12 for a minute.
You look like it. Anyway, it was none other than MJF. Bastard.
What a guy.
I'll get back to that in a second, but I want to get the final entrant. The millionth return of none other than Michael the Bomber Facade.
He's back from India.
The whole MJF thing that kind of threw me for a loop is I posted on Wrestling Cheers a thing that I observed before the show. There was Demon Bunny merch. For those who don't know, that is Allie and Rosemary from Impact Wrestling. Or if you want to go a little bit further, that was Cherry Bomb and Courtney Rush, who both of them we haven't seen in AIW in years. So there's a potential is Demon Bunny or one of them in the Gauntlet? Turns out, no, there was just somebody selling their merch there, which was kind of heartbreaking, because I would love to have seen Demon Bunny in the Gauntlet.
I get to see him in a couple weeks in Chicago at Shimmer.
You know what I'm thinking? Just remember that. Something that's going to go everybody's head right now, but that's fine.
What?
Every time we talked about it at Gauntlet, what was the thing that I said to you?
You act like I can remember last week.
God, you act like you're a wrestler and you have concussions.
I do. A lot of brain damage.
At this point, we were down to the final four. MJF, Hot Sauce Tracy Williams, Magnum CK, and Dominic Guarini. Final two were MJF and Hot Sauce Tracy Williams, and your winner of the 2018 Gauntlet for the Gold 13, Hot Sauce Tracy Williams. So, Tracy Williams gets another shot at the AIW Absolute Championship. Another shot, quite possibly, against Nick Gage. For those keeping score at home, when we did the beginning of the year predictions,
I said Hot Sauce. I was right.
No, you did not.
I don't.
Ed from Pod Van Dam said Tom Lawler. He was wrong. I said Tom Lawler. I was wrong. Kayden said Tom Lawler. He
We all
was
said
wrong.
Tom Lawler.
Dustin said Josh Alexander. Josh Alexander, much like Tom Lawler, was not in the building, not in the city as far as we know, and probably not even in the state as far as we know. Josh Alexander probably wasn't even in the country.
Unfortunately.
So all of our predictions are wrong, and that leaves my JLIT prediction most likely wrong, because I had the JLIT winner as Tracy Williams. I had him as the first back-to-back winner, because I thought that'd be a nice accomplishment for him. So, no. But Dustin looks good with saying Tom Lawler, because I think Tom Lawler could, I don't know the healing process of everything, but he could be healed and ready to go by JLIT. Kayden, for refreshment purposes, you have the prediction of Joey Janela.
Made it to the finals last year.
And Ed from Pod Van Dam has Boogeyman. So...
Because why not?
It's really interesting to look at that Final Four, too, because MJF, Hot Sauce Tracy Williams, Magnum CK, Dominic Garrini. In the next couple of years, I feel like we're going to get Dominic Garrini as a champion. I don't know whether it's going to be
100%.
Intense or Absolute. It's fucking happening.
He will hold one of the belts.
There's a part of me that thinks Dominic Garrini could very well be one of the next big names to come out of Cleveland. It's going to take many more years, but I feel like he has a lot of the tools and he's building on all of it. We have MJF, a guy that I'm a huge fan of, and I think he has a lot of potential. So to see him, not even his first year in AIW, and he's only been like around 2 years, him Final Four, that's great. Hot Sauce Tracy Williams, obviously, I happened to pull him up earlier on cagematch.net. According to that, like his first match was in like 2014. And I think we got him within his first year. So that's been...
He had him February 2015.
Yeah, which was it was a 4-way, I believe. But we had him within that first year. That's awesome. Then we have Magnum CK, former guest on the show, friend of the show. I am going out on a limb here. I think Magnum CK is the most popular wrestler in AIW right now. Now, going into Gauntlet, I proposed a question on Wrestling Cheer saying, who do you guys think is going to win Gauntlet? And pretty much one of the number one answers was Magnum CK. If I counted everybody up, which I didn't, I want to say that's going to be number one by a landslide. So I was like, you know what? Maybe, there were some champions that people weren't thinking about. Like maybe Gage is a little bit more popular. So this past week, with a little plan in my head, I said, who is your favorite current AIW wrestler? It's a little bit closer, but that's one of the top responses. And some people, if they didn't say Magnum directly, they said the production,
Which still counts.
which still includes Magnum. Magnum CK hasn't been in AIW a year, and people love him.
He debuted in AIW in September.
Yeah, and I don't feel like I'm the greatest talent evaluator in the world, but not meaning where he can end up. I think Magnum CK is the next Johnny Gargano of Cleveland, meaning loved by the crowds, people want to see him, and a big merch seller. Maybe
That's a good comparison.
Maybe, that's pretty much saying the same thing 3 different ways, but he hasn't been here long and his following is big. And if you get the chance to speak to the man, he's very friendly. He's such an awesome dude. And if I would compare it to anybody, it's Johnny Gargano. And I feel like that has to be a huge compliment. And, you're a huge Johnny Gargano fan. What do you think about that?
That's probably one of the best comparisons you could make because, again, he's been here since September. Didn't even wrestle on the September show. First match wasn't until November. Just, boom, already loved by the crowd.
Yeah. Everything he does, the crowd eats up. Even if they love heckling him, as much as I do kind of like Don's. I do think there's that crowd with him that maybe they're playing into it and they love heckling the production. They love heckling Magnum.
Magnum's gimmick is different. People like something that's different from the usual.
It's true that we are sports entertained. And I mean, I because of what we've seen with Magnum right now, I would love to see him Absolute Champion. I was thinking, I want to see Absolute. I was actually thinking Intense. I was thinking if anybody's going to beat Janela, have it be Magnum.
It makes sense.
I could see him, holding that belt like you would see Macho Man or Ricky the Dragon Steamboat back in the day, where it's to where, you have the center plate out and the 2 side plates out, and he's just like holding it by his side. Like, it, in my mind, it just fits. All right, let's start to wrap this show up, and I want to get your thoughts on the show, and how would you rate it?
On a scale of, I should know this by now, but I still don't remember.
I like letters, because I always feel like with letters, if you give something a B-, it kind of means like it's a B-, I mean A plus B-, or no, A. It's getting late. I mean a B plus A-. So it's like it's on that border.
I'd probably just give it a solid B.
I would agree with that. I think
it was a good show, but there was things that they could have improved on.
The Gauntlet didn't end till like quarter till midnight, which I mean you're gonna have with a show with 7 matches, not counting the Gauntlet, which is an
hour.
Yeah, damn near an hour. No complaints. I mean, because I thoroughly enjoy Royal Rumbles and this Gauntlet match. Awesome.
I like stuff with surprises. I think that's why I like Royal Rumble matches or like always the bonus matches on these AIW shows.
I think that was something that was actually a downfall of the show. Surprises.
This was the one show that we probably could have done without like the surprise 4-way match.
The surprise 4-way match wasn't bad, but I'm talking about the match prior to it, to Infinity and Beyond, as the surprise tag partner. Like I said, does it give Josh Prohibition heat and have people boo against him? Yeah, it does. Should I hate it? Yeah, I should. So kudos for that, but it was obviously it felt underwhelming. And the big surprises in Gauntlet were Facade, which I think a lot of us seen coming, Super Oprah, which that's fun on just a different level, and
Thorn.
Oh yeah, Thorn too. Kaplan. I was thinking Kaplan. Kaplan, which on a side note, fucking Jake Clemens, when we mentioned something about Kaplan, he was like, "Yeah, I heard he's in like Maryland or something like right now." I'm like, "Oh man, okay, that sucks, but okay." And Kaplan comes out, I look at him, and you go, "You son of a bitch!" And he gives me that like, "Gotcha." Yeah, I think I would agree. It was a B for me. Match of the night for me. I want to go that 4-way tag match. Love the production. Love Danhausen is so good. I not to knock the dude. He is an improvement from Colby Red.
And Colby Red was good.
He was good. I'm talking about just like that character of.
Yeah, Colby didn't fit in.
Yeah, Danhausen has crazy eyes. So when he has that face paint on, it looks intimidating, and I thoroughly enjoy it. So that was my match of the night. And which one were you going to decide that was your match of the night? Was it officially the Absolute title?
Yep.
Okay.
Because there was a Japanese table involved in that match, and it was awesome. I kid you not. There was a Japanese table involved, and it actually broke.
I have video of the powerbomb onto the tables that didn't... Well, both powerbombs that didn't break. And I actually stopped them in between videos to get them as individual. And I did this on purpose, but I kind of forgot, or I just wanted to see if it was still the same. I did the slow-mo effect videos, and because of that lighting, anytime I do a slow-mo, it does this flicker because of the light bulbs. So it doesn't look as cool. So I was debating on because I think I can make it to where the slow-mo part happens for not even a millisecond, and he just goes straight through. Or maybe I could just skip it altogether. But anyway, that is really interesting. And also, like you said, the Death Valley Driver, even before that, fucking intense. Absolutely intense. All right, let's start wrapping the show up. Any final thoughts or last-minute plugs before we go, Kayden?
Rap show is coming up next month. I got weapons. Yay violence. Follow me on everything at KVR216.
And of course, you can find myself at Heavyset330 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And of course, you can find this show also at Wrestling Cheers, Facebook.com/Wrestling Cheers, Twitter.com/Wrestling Cheers, Instagram.com/Wrestling Cheers, and email if you so choose to desire, WrestlingCheers@gmail.com. I'm trying to stall, even though I'm talking. Okay, there's my podcast notes. I had to get them fully up back from my other notes. Anyway, please rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, Spotify, and Podbean, WrestlingCheers.podbean.com. Please share us with your friends and help spread the word on Wrestling Cheers. And if you want to help support the show, we have a store at whatamaneuver.net. Like I said, new shirts are coming soon. And if you want to be a part of the Chandler Biggins Memorial episode, like I said, WrestlingCheers@gmail.com is the email. Shoot us an email with a music file or a audio file, and we'll definitely add it to the show. Check out all our friends on the Trending Topics Network, such as All Beer Inside, What's on Fight, Eurovision Showcase, Legends on Siren Radio, Old School at the Movies, and Chill, and the 450 Podcast, plus so much more. Check out all our podcast friends, such as was Chris Clem's Cavscast. Wingcast, a Wingman podcast with Steve Guy. Let the Hate Flow Through You with Jeremy Shear and El Hordano Diablo. Pod Van Dam, The Road Home from Wrestling. Rebel Life Media. NEO Sports Insiders. Thrift Store Jobber on Instagram, Twitter, Etsy, and I think he has eBay. Could be wrong. And check out the official graphic designer of Wrestling Cheers, Moy Boy Designs. That will do it for us here on Wrestling Cheers, where everybody knows your name, even if your match is unannounced. Later.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Would you like to get away? Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You're the what you can see, brothers are all the same. You're the what everybody knows your